I honestly don't wear makeup in my face anyway, so probably not today because my skin is doing well on my period, which is not a common occurrence. These are really cute earrings. Hello. Happy last day of school. Happy first physical therapy appointment for Selby too. What else could they possibly add to the Percy Jackson cinematic universe?
You also said you don't think that the...
What could they possibly add? We're off to physical therapy. To physical therapy we go. Still there, but today it's napping. Hey, my friend. Oh, you're awake. You're a pretty little kitty, aren't you? We're now not sure if it's a man or a woman. You want to play the blinking game? Okay. There's this game you can play with cats where you blink at them, and if they trust you, they'll blink back. Speaking of cats, my Catsby, that's him, you know, the fat one, we just found out was terminally ill. He's older though, so it's okay, but he has kidney disease, and he's not willing to eat the food that'll prolong his life. Buddy, please just eat the food. It'll help you not be in pain. Done with civics, which is good. I'm going to try to finish biology today, then I have therapy today. Tomorrow I have acupuncture. And then this bitch is going on vacation. I don't actually have to take my biology exam because I'm just doing online school through online school, not through public school. Certain kids might be taking honors biology through a regular school if they don't offer it, but I'm just straight up homeschooled for my health. And yeah, then I'm spending the weekend in the mountains for my dad's birthday. And I had my first physical therapy appointment yesterday. I really like her. We're focusing on my Ehlers-Danlos in my wrists because, you know, I injured this wrist. So we're working on some strength in my wrist. She taught me how to do better wall push-ups. She said it's probably something that it'll take about 3 months before, you know, I see improvement. And then after that, it'll be kind of on and off throughout my life. But, yeah. That's that. Speaking of Ehlers-Danlos, my mouth sores are back. Come on, man. Why? If you don't know, I have both hypermobile EDS, which is the most common type, and periodontal EDS, which is a rarer type. So I have both hypermobility problems and mouth sores. Yes. Who doesn't love that? Anyways, my GI does seem to be a bit better, even if my EDS is getting worse, which is unfortunate. Ever since I stopped the Visbiome, GI-wise, things have been doing better. I don't know if it said it was osmolality based, so I honestly don't know if I was allergic to the Visbiome or what. But that helped. That's the one time my pharmacy not refilling something helped. However, though, they are not good at refilling other prescriptions, to the point that, okay, they were supposed to refill my amitriptyline. They only keep 10 medications in stock, which is crazy because what do you mean? You're a Walgreens. How do you not keep more than 10 medications in stock? Anyways, so they gave me a partial refill, just like when I was back on the Visbiome. They gave me a Visbiome that someone had taken the other pills out of, and pills someone else's mouth had been on, and I was supposed to take an open version of that. But you know what? I was like, that's okay. So then we next time go back, they refill the Viberzi, which I'm allergic to. If you guys go back several vlogs, you'll know what happened. Last time I took Viberzi and we found out I had an allergy to that. You'll go back and see when we found out I had an opioid allergy. That was crazy. Anyways, they refilled that, and I'm not going to take that because I'm allergic to it. So that was very exhausting because we paid $150 for a medication I'm allergic to. I guess they thought they both start with a V, so Anyways, them not refilling the Visbiome was a good thing because I was without it and I realized I feel better when I'm not taking it. So I think that is a positive thing. I'm going to be so pissed though if this whole time, because I have UC obviously. I had post-infection IBS, I have chronic infections, I have gut dysbiosis. And we've tried at certain times over the past 3 years, each one has been causing each problem. But if this current GI stuff is going to have been caused by that, I'm going to be so mad. I suspect there are other things going on too, like MCAS, Ehlers-Danlos can also cause GI stuff. As can, UC, but my scope was clear other than having a misshapen intestine from having had inflammation in the past. Anyways, back to the story. They gave us another partial refill of amitriptyline. Well, I finished that because I have to take 5 a day and they're really tiny. And we go back and this time they don't have any at all. So they were like, whatever. So then, I take my birth control, right? I have been on the same type of birth control for 3 years now. I've always been on the pill, like it's never been a different type of birth control. But prior to being on this specific kind of pill, I was on a different kind of pill. I have not taken that form of birth control in 3 years. So then the pharmacy, the other day, the day my period ended, which is when I need to start my birth control the next day, because I take it for 3 weeks, then I have my period, then I take it for 3 weeks. A few days prior to my period ending, because my mom called it in just to make sure they had it. They were like, we're working on it. Fine, great. So we go and we pick it up on Sunday because my period ends on Monday. And, well, I sometimes have a little bit of spotting, but you don't need to know about that. Anyways, we go to the pharmacy. They refilled the wrong kind of birth control. They refilled the kind I haven't been on for 3 years. I have not been on that since I was 12. I am now 15. I can understand if I stopped doing that 3 days, 3 weeks, even 3 months ago, but 3 years? Every month for the past 3 years, you have given me the same kind of birth control. What could you possibly not understand about me not being on that now? 3 years! I'm sorry. I'm crashing out right now because we have a really shitty pharmacy. 3 years. I'm so done. Anyways, my mom went back, yelled at them until they gave me the right birth control. She's trying to switch over all our prescriptions to another pharmacy, but the thing is, my dad doesn't take any medications, which is so unfair because he's almost 60, but my mom, myself, and my grandpa do. I take the most, which is not a competition, but it's a little sad that I'm the youngest and I take 33 pills a day. Anyways, she's trying to switch us all over, but that's a lot of medication to switch over. And my grandpa, well, no, actually, he gets his medication through a pharmacy at his old folks' home. So it'd just be me and my mom. We need our prescriptions switched, but it still takes, and that's still exhausting, and that's still frustrating. And I don't know why this is happening. In other news, my tertiary GI doctor, I still have, the first one I saw was for my UC, and just clarify, I still have UC. We don't think that, I don't have this anymore. I most definitely still have inflammatory bowel disease. But the inflammatory bowel disease has caused some other problems. Anyways, the one I was seeing for the gut-brain miscommunication is running out of ideas, even though I felt a little bit better since I'm off the Visbiome. I'm still having a lot of GI problems. And we're going to up the amitriptyline to 100 milligrams, which is not great because the amitriptyline is really hard on my body. And also I would have to drop the doxepin for my CIU. Just because I already own Prozac and doxepin, and if I were to up the amitriptyline to 100 milligrams, I could get serotonin syndrome, which they don't want me to have. So I'm seeing my allergist to ask him to drop the doxepin and get my Xolair injections more frequently, or at a higher dosage, because I get Xolair injections once a month. Anyways, we're doing that, and the only other option he has is this shock collar that goes around my throat. I look like a little dog, but I say this while I have cats on my mug that my best friend gave me. It's crazy though. It is insane. yeah, I want to go finish my schoolwork. I'm going to do some therapy. I'm going to do my revised exercises. I'm going to finish up school for the whole year, which is really great. I'm going to get my acupuncture tomorrow, and then I'm going to be out of town for the weekend, and then I'm going to start my summer classes and Charter's Ed. Also, my English teacher, the one I've been having problems with all year long since I joined her class late through no fault of my own, because I didn't want to have to go to online school, even though I feel really lucky, to have access to education. I think she, this whole time, has blamed me for joining her class late. And at first, I felt a lot of sympathy for her, because having a student join your class late must be really hard. I know, because my dad's a teacher. But all year long, she has blamed me, and she's written all these snarky messages. And there was this project I did for my end of year grade, and my mom just said, all right, I'm going to do this with you. For context, both of my parents were. My mom was an English major. My dad got a bachelor's degree in English and a master's degree in industrial design, because he's an industrial design teacher. And my mom helped me with it, because she said, this teacher needs everything very direct. We need to do everything by the rubric, because she's someone who loves her rubrics. Anyways, we were doing everything by the rubric. It all looked fine. She gave me a D. I spent so much time on this project, and I have a problem accepting help from other people. My mom has a problem giving feedback in a way that's constructive and not just critical. And so, we had a hard time working together on that, but we made it happen. And I am still just... I got a D, and that's 20% of my grade for the school year. And then she wrote back this message saying, just because you joined my class late doesn't mean you're above having to learn and above having to take school and above having to, master the content. And she's written a lot of things like that through the school year. Like, just because you've been treated differently in the past for your conditions doesn't mean I'm going to treat you differently. You still have to learn like everyone else. And I feel like she sort of assumes I'm one of those people who expects accommodations because I'm disabled. And I don't even get the accommodations that I am legally entitled to. What is it with non-disabled people thinking that disabled labor is free? I don't understand it. We don't even get our legal accommodations, let alone any special accommodations. That's not how that works. Anyways, tell someone you love them today. Maybe have that person be yourself. Sing like there's no one watching. Take down a transphobe. Always remember to peel the pomelo. Maybe someday I'll tell you what peel the pomelo means.